12-team college football playoff is upon us, and we start in the hallowed grounds of Notre Dame, the battle for the great state of Indiana, as you got the Hoosiers coming north, taking on Marcus Freeman and company. A couple of coaches with new contracts, Curt Cignetti, and you got Marcus Freeman, actually got one this week, and Leonard not starting the way he'd hoped for the Irish. First time this season with an interception in back-to-back games. There's D'Angelo Pons doing the honors. Pond would be good for you. Ensuing Hoosiers possession, I got Curtis Rourke. And there's no shame in being picked off by a guy in Xavier Watts, who has 13 since the start of last season. No one else in the country has more than 10. Gary, I ask again, is X going to give it to him?
I think he just did. He actually took it from them.
You're set up on the 2-yard line, though. What do you got dialed up for 98 yards? How about Jeremiah Love?
Faster than everybody.
We didn't find Love in a hopeless place. We found it in South Bend, Indiana. 98 yards, exploring the stadium space. He goes, I was looking up at the video board. He wasn't going to catch me. It's the longest play in college football playoff history. Goes back to 2014. Notre Dame taking a 7-0 lead. Later, Leonard to Jaden Thomas over the middle. That'll work. It's a 17-3 lead going into the half. Freeman is hyped. Head coach at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, is chirping on social media. That was a fun one. And then in the third quarter, Rourke brought down by Bryce Young. I thought Bryce Young graduated. Little full, a lot of sap. Leonard for the Irish, scrambling to his left, tries to run out of bounds. They say that's late, and it was. James Carpenter laying the wood. But a flag is thrown.
As Carpenters do.
That's just Woody humor. That's all that is. Notre Dame attack on a field goal. It's 20-3. Curt Cignetti, smoke him if you got him. What are we doing? Let's go later in the third. Indiana has 3rd and 3 from its own 32. Rourke has Miles Cross open. And if this connects, who knows what happens? Right off of his fingertips right there. Rourke finishing 20 of 33 for 215 yards. The score remains 20-3 going into the fourth. This was curious, really this whole drive. Under 11 minutes to play. Again, the fourth quarter, it's 3rd and 10. You got a completion for a loss, and now it's 4th and 11. Your season's on the line, and Indiana punts. Yeah. Curt Cignetti said, I didn't want to punt, but our defense was still fighting. Our offense wasn't doing nothing. Okay, Indiana continues to trail 20-3. Leonard stepping up. Jordan Faison, 7 grabs, 89 yards down inside the 2-yard line. Leonard, 23 of 32, 201 passing yards. They also ran for 30, and you're going to let Leonard punch it in. 15th rushing touchdown of the season, most by a quarterback in Notre Dame history. The Irish win by 10. They're through to face Georgia in the quarterfinals. Your winning quarterback is Leonard. Soaking in the vibes in South Bend.
It's crazy. This is such a special place. There's no place like Notre Dame. I mean, this is why you come here. This is why I came here to compete in the college football playoffs. It's such a blessing. I owe it all to these guys, though. Our defense showed out once again, and everybody around me just compliments my game day in and day out.
I'm grateful to be a part of a program and a team that has been able to accomplish this. But, you know, I'm greedy, and my focus is, although I don't want their focus to be on it, my focus is going to be on finding a way to get 13.
Well, all good things coming to an end, and, you know, when you're my age, you've seen it all. And got a lot of guys hurting in there, but part of life is learning how to deal with disappointment the proper way. And, you know, come back a stronger person because of the experience. You know, you never get everything you want in life. It's how life is.
After having their worst defensive performance really in several areas in their final regular season game against USC, the Irish were much improved on the defensive side of the football against Indiana last night. Hoosiers 17 points, their second fewest scored in a game this season, while 278 yards of total offense was their third fewest. Dealing with disappointment this morning is our favorite Hoosier, our college football playoff reporter, Heather Dinich, who is with us. She did pick Notre Dame. I want to point that out in case she doesn't. But Indiana, Heather, trailed for longer last night than it did all season. And all credit to the Irish defense. What stood out to you about that side of the ball for Marcus Freeman's team as it now prepares to play a Georgia team that could be without quarterback Carson Beck?
Well, two things stood out. One was the ability to get into the backfield, and the other was the ability to stop the run. Because if you're Georgia and you've got a rookie quarterback starting for the first time, what are you going to do? You're going to lean on your running game. But Notre Dame's defense held Indiana to just 63 yards on the ground. And then back to getting pressure on Rourke, they had 10 tackles for loss, and they had 3 sacks in that game. They limited Rourke's ability to get those explosive downfield passes. And that's important. And when you look at Georgia, even with Carson Beck in the lineup, they had a lot of drops this season from their receivers, turnovers, penalties. So they're going to need their best game all around against this Notre Dame defense.
If it is Gunnar Stockton, he's completed 25 of 32 for 206 yards in 3 games this season.
Notre Dame gets the win. Here's how it went down. 10-seed Indiana, number 7 Notre Dame in the first round of the CFP. Indiana 1-71 all time versus AP top 5 teams. Here's Curt Cignetti and then Shane Gillis on game day.
We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them.
Okay. Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I saw it, I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by a million. Go Irish.
Shane Gillis, his pops, used to take him and his friends to a Notre Dame spring game every year. There's a highlight of his year.
What else happened?
Can't tell you.
On the trip.
Curtis Rourke's pass was intercepted. I'll tell you, that happened right there. He had a receiver to the left side instead. Ooh, first interception in the red zone. Something about somebody falling asleep.
Yeah.
Notre Dame taking over. And then on the very next play, Jeremiah Love. Now, Notre Dame has not played since their last regular season game, November 30th. They have had 3 weeks to rest and recover, and that is good because Love injured his right knee in the second half win against USC. I had all that time to tell you the knee looks fine because he's still faster than everybody. Here's how it sounded on Notre Dame's radio broadcast.
Jeremiah Love gets the carry, running left, has a hole. He's across the 10, needs a block at his own 20. Now he's down the sideline. It's a foot race across midfield. 30, 20, 10, 5. You gotta be kidding me. It's a touchdown. Jeremiah Love does what he does.
Love has scored in every single game for the Fighting Irish this season. They win, they advance. They get to hear from their head coach afterward.
First thing, you know how we do this. 1, 2, 3. Here come the Irish! Yeah! Hey, we talked about it. Hey, listen up, right? We have one guaranteed to earn one more. We earned another one. Hell yeah, we earned another one, man. Great job. I need somebody tall. Tosh, get up here, man. Get up here. Round 2, that.
So in case you were wondering, it's Notre Dame advancing to play Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl New Year's Day. This is going to be the 4th all-time meeting between Georgia and Notre Dame. History not on the Irish side. The Bulldogs, they've won the previous 3. However, all of those games, they've been snug like pants after a buffet. They've been decided by 7 points or fewer.
College football analyst E.J. Manuel now joining us on SportsCenter. Okay, that's the end result. That's how good the Notre Dame defense was. E.J., how were the Irish able to dominate this game and move on to face Georgia?
Good morning, Randy. Well, here's the thing. The Irish, coming into this game, wanted to set the tone, running the football, and also playing great defense. And that's exactly what you saw. That 98-yard run by Jeremiah Love really set the tone for this entire team. I think it took a lot of pressure off the quarterback, Riley Leonard, and really you were able to kind of take an exhale. And then that next drive, Xavier Watts coming up with the interception. Notre Dame was able to get 3 sacks on Curtis Rourke, also had 10 tackles for loss. And so in this type of playoff, what we're going to continue to see is you just got to be the best team that day. I believe if Notre Dame and Indiana were to play again, maybe the result's different, but ultimately Notre Dame got the best of the Indiana Hoosiers tonight, and a lot of it had to do with the defense up front and, again, being able to run the football.
How much